Okay, let's dive right in. We're talking about maybe the most critical, but also the least trained part of volleyball, and that's the mental game. Today, we're going to break down a system that's designed to help you show up under pressure right when it matters most. You know, it's a question every single player, coach, and parent has asked themselves. You've put in all the hours, you've got the technique down cold, you're physically in peak condition. So why is it that in those do or die moments, it can all just fall apart? You know this exact feeling. The whole gym just gets quiet. You can feel every single pair of eyes lock onto you. It feels like the weight of the entire match is sitting right on your shoulders, on this one serve. And in that one moment, your mind can be your single greatest weapon. Or it can be your absolute worst enemy. So what is really going on here? Well, the most important thing to understand is this. When you're under pressure, you don't actually lose your skill. What you lose is access to your skill. And trust me, that is a total game-changing distinction. This right here, this reframes the whole problem. It's not that your perfect serve-receive technique suddenly just vanished into thin air. No way. It's that the pressure created a major disruption in your mental system. Your focus gets all narrow, your muscles get tight, and suddenly you can't get to the talent that you 100% still have. So here's the good news. This mental breakdown, it isn't some random mystery. It's not like getting struck by lightning out of nowhere. It actually follows a really predictable pattern, kind of like a downward spiral. And if we can understand that pattern, well, then we can learn how to interrupt it. And here's that spiral in action. It all starts with one shanked pass and boom, that's emotional acceleration. Your frustration just skyrockets. Then your attention starts to drift. Instead of being locked in on the next point, your mind is replaying that mistake, or even worse, worrying about making another one. And finally, interpretive distortion kicks in. That one bad pass isn't just a mistake anymore. Suddenly, it's proof that you're choking. Sound familiar? I thought so. Okay, so how in the world do we stop that spiral? That is exactly where the Mental Performance Support System, or MPSS, comes in. And this isn't just about being mentally tough. It's a structured, trainable system designed to help you get yourself back together when things start to feel chaotic. Let's be really clear about this. MPSS is not another random list of coping strategies. It is an integrated toolkit. Every skill in the system works together, and each one targets a different part of that breakdown spiral we just talked about. It's all designed to restore order so you can get back to playing the way you know you can. All right, let's get out on the court and see how this actually works in a real game time situation. So imagine you just shanked a really important serve receive. The old you might start to spiral, but the athlete who trains with MPSS, they have a plan. The very first move always is the stop skill. I want you to think of it like hitting a pause button. It's the front door to the entire system because it creates this tiny but psychologically huge gap between the thing that happened and your immediate emotional reaction to it. And really, that's all it takes sometimes, that one single deep breath. It interrupts the impulse. Now, it doesn't fix everything, but what it does is it stops things from escalating. You've just kept the moment from getting bigger and scarier than it needed to be. And that gives you the space to use your other skills. Okay, next up is radical acceptance. It is incredible how many athletes waste precious mental energy fighting with something that's already happened. I can't believe I missed that. Look, acceptance isn't about liking the mistake. It's about refusing to spend your energy on the next point arguing with the last one. You just acknowledge it and you move on. And this little mental shift right here is where all the power is. You're moving from resistance, which just burns up your energy, to acceptance, which frees up your attention for what actually matters, the very next play. So once you've accepted what happened, you need to give it a meaning that you can actually use. This is called optimism reframing. Now, this is not about fake positivity. It's about shifting from a catastrophic story, like I'm choking, to a constructive one like, okay, my timing was a little rushed. I just need to settle my feet. See the difference? One keeps you stuck, the other gives you a solution. And here's where you see the whole recovery loop come together. First, you stop that emotional surge. Second, you use a mindfulness reset to get your focus back to the present moment. Third, you use optimism reframing to give it a constructive meaning. Fourth, radical acceptance gets rid of that resistance to what's already done. And finally, rumination recovery helps you let go of the past mistake. It's a complete system to bring you right back to stability. But hey, performance doesn't happen in a bubble, right? The final piece of the MPSS puzzle involves everybody around the athlete. We're talking teammates, coaches, even parents. This is all about the environment you're in. This is so important for every coach and every teammate to really get. When a player is already feeling rattled and disorganized, just yelling a correction at them usually feels like an attack, not like help, and that just makes their performance even worse. But when a player feels connected and supported, they can actually hear the feedback and absorb it. It's connection first, always. So, what do we do with all this information? The whole goal here is to shift how you think about this stuff. Mental regulation isn't just something you either have or you don't. It is a trainable physical skill, just like hitting a wicked jump serve. If you take only one thing away from our time together today, please let it be this. Performance follows regulation. Your ability to execute your skills on the court is directly 100% tied to your ability to keep your mental system organized and stable when the pressure is on. And that leads us to the final and most crucial question you got to ask yourself. You spend hundreds, maybe thousands of hours in the gym, in the weight room, but are you dedicating real, structured time to training the system that actually controls everything else? If you're ready to actually start doing the work, here's how. You can go way deeper and find more resources at flowmpcc.com. That's FLOWMPCC.com. And for the real, hands-on, practical training, you've got to get the MPSS workbooks on Amazon. It's time. It's time to master the system for returning to yourself, returning to the play, and truly owning the moment when it matters the most.